been a while, hey? Okay, this is a book for today. How to win friends and influence people. Is that correct? Yes. I think you have definitely heard about this book. It is so famous. I remember when I was in uni, I got a Vietnamese version of this book on ebook, and I read some chapters and I quit because I don't know, I'm not a fan of self-help books, and I think reading too much of them would then you wouldn't be yourself anymore, because you try to change yourself too much, I think. But I got this book by accident, and I think, well, yeah, since it is so famous, I should give it a try. And this time I like it, and I think I'm not going to change myself, and I'm not losing myself by reading the book and apply some of the principles in the book into my life and work, because I think I have my disciplines already, I have my principles already, and you know, as someone who is not young anymore, I would say it isn't too easy for me to change. So yeah, I really enjoy the book this time, and I am not put into under the pressure that I must change after reading this. Okay, just dive into some quotes. Well, I find a lot of quotes that you may see. I put a lot of bookmarks in this book, so okay, wait and see. Dealing with people is probably the biggest problem you face, especially if you're in business. Wow, so true. Technical knowledge plus the ability to express ideas, assume leadership, and to arouse enthusiasm among people. That person is headed for higher earning power. The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action. It is frequently easier to find fault than to find praise. It is more natural to talk about what you want than to talk about what the other person wants. Hesitate about doing the natural thing, the impulsive thing. This is usually wrong. People don't criticize themselves for anything, no matter how wrong it may be. Criticism is dangerous because it wounds a person's precious pride, hurts his sense of importance, and arouses resentment. The resentment that criticism engenders can demoralize employees, family members, and friends, as to not correct the situation that has been condemned. The person we are going to correct and condemn will probably justify himself or herself and condemn us in return. Never again did he write an insulting letter. Never again did he ridicule anyone. And from that time on, he almost never criticized anybody for anything. Don't criticize them. They are just what we would be under similar circumstances. When dealing with people, let us remember we are not dealing with creatures of logic. We're dealing with creatures of emotion, creatures bristling with prejudices and motivated by pride and vanity. Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, but it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. The deepest urge in human nature is the desire to be important. People sometimes become invalid in order to win sympathy and attention and get a feeling of importance. People may actually go insane in order to find, in the dreamland of insanity, the feeling of importance. Ability to arouse enthusiasm, develop the best that is in a person is by appreciation and encouragement. Nothing else that so kills the ambitions of a person is criticism for superiors. I never criticize anyone. How seldom do we nourish their self-esteem? We neglect to give them kind words of appreciation that would sing in their memories for years, like the music of the morning stars. What applies to professionals applies doubly to workers in offices, shops and factories, and our families and friends. Hurting people not only does not change them, it is never called for. The only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. The other person, arouse in the other person an eager want. He who can do this has the whole world with him. I got this reduction without saying a word about what I wanted. I talked all the time about what the other person wanted and how he could get it. You know how arguments end. Even if I had convinced him that he was wrong, his pride would have made it difficult for him to back down and give in. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. The rare individual who unselfishly tries to serve others has an enormous advantage. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people, and you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. It is the individual who is not interested in his fellow man who has the greatest difficulties in life and provides the greatest injury to others. It is from among such individuals that all human failures spring. You have to be interested in people if you want to be a successful writer of stories. The expression one wears on one's face is far more important than the clothes one wears on one's back. People rarely succeed at anything unless they have fun doing it. A man without a smiling face must not open a shop. Nobody needs a smile so much as those who have none left to give. One of the simplest, most obvious, and most important ways of gaining goodwill was by remembering names and making people feel important. That kind of listening is one of the highest compliments we can pay anyone. Exclusive attention to the person who is speaking to you is very important. Nothing else is so flattering as that. Many persons call a doctor when all they want is an audience. He had wanted merely a friendly, sympathetic listener to whom he could unburden himself. That's what we all want when we are in trouble. The people you are talking to are 100 times more interested in themselves and their wants and problems than they are in you and your problems. The royal road to a person's heart is to talk about the things he or she treasures most. Almost everyone considers himself important. There is only one way under high heaven to get the best of an argument, and that is to avoid it. 9 times out of 10, an argument ends with each of the contestants more firmly convinced than ever that he is absolutely right. If you argue and rankle and contradict, you may achieve a victory sometime, but it will be an empty victory because you never get your opponent's goodwill. Which would you rather have, an academic, theoretical victory or a person's goodwill? Our first natural reaction in a disagreeable situation is to be defensive. Be careful, keep calm, and watch out for your first reaction. You can measure the size of a person by what makes him or her angry. When one yells, the other should listen. When 2 people yell, there is no communication, just noise and bad vibration. It is difficult under even the most benign condition to change people's mind. If you are going to prove anything, don't let anybody know it. Men must be taught as if you taught them not. Showing respect for all customers' opinions and treating them diplomatically and courteously will help beat the competition. Few people are logical. Most of us are prejudiced and biased. Nothing good is accomplished and a lot of damage can be done if you tell the person straight out that he or she is wrong. I judge people by their principles, not by my own. Any fool can try to defend his or her mistakes, and most fools do, but it raises one above the herd and gives one a feeling of nobility and exultation to admit one's mistakes. The benefit of applying a principle may be more advantageous than maintaining an old tradition. Gentleness and friendliness were always stronger than fury and force. How richly it sometimes pays to let the other person do the talking. If you want enemies, excel your friends. But if you want friends, let your friends excel you. No one likes to feel that he or she is being sold something or told to do a thing. So eager to do the right thing that I did the wrong thing. This will take time, but it will avoid making enemies and will get better results. 3/4 of the people you will ever meet are hungering and thirsting for sympathy. When no information can be secured about a customer, the only sound basis on which to proceed is to assume that he or she is sincere, honest, and truthful. Merely stating the truth isn't enough. The truth has to be made vivid, interesting, dramatic. All men have fears, but the brave put down their fears and go forward, sometimes to death, but always to victory. The one major factor that motivated people was the work itself. What every successful person loves is the game. It is always easier to listen to unpleasant things after we have heard some praise of our good points. And yes, that is pretty much it. So many quotes. And I use a lot of bookmarks that I need to stop recording and shall reuse it again. Anyway, that is pretty much it for today. I hope you have a good time, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.